Coconut.
Fire.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Roberto Guido.
And my name is Marissa Lewis.
And together we are
the Dos Cocos Locos.
And welcome to our podcast.
So our goal with this podcast is to drop as much coconut fire, which is our way of saying life/business knowledge bombs, for creatives that don't necessarily know much about life or business, through conversations with one another as well as with other fellow creatives and dope people.
Our story has a lot of twists and turns, but basically we started by selling coconuts at the beach, and now we have our own photography and videography business. And it's through these conversations that we were able to really learn how to navigate this thing called life. Enjoy. Alright, so hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dos Cocos Locos podcast. I think this is episode 32.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, thank you so much for taking time to hang out with us today, Erica.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're excited to kind of like just share, like we know who you are, but we want to let our peeps know who you are. So we start every podcast with just this beginning question, and then we just take it from there.
Okay.
So in one sentence, it could be as long or as short
good.
as you want. What is it that you do? And feel free to take your time with this.
So, I think this is a run-on sentence too. So this is good.
Those are the best
I
ones.
believe
So I always say that Sewn Apart is an environmentally and socially conscious, fashion-forward accessory company, and our flagship product is a bow tie.
That's such a great pitch.
Is it?
It really is.
Like that's perfect for like when you're in an elevator. Boom, like real quick.
Oh, I spent a lot of time boiling it down to these key facts. It's been a process.
Yeah.
The creative process. You know.
Yeah. Right there with
That's
you.
cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's dope. Well, do you want to kind of like elaborate a little bit more?
On the bow ties?
Yeah, or just
Or life in general?
yeah.
Um,
On the
the bow tie started because of my grandfather. This is the watermelon one.
Yeah, and
This is
for-
one of my favorite ones.
That one's really cool.
Janet made this one too.
Oh man, you gotta let the people know who Janet is.
I know.
In a second.
We're going to get to Janet. She's pretty great.
great.
So I started making bow ties because of my grandfather. He has since passed away. For his funeral, my aunt wanted everyone to wear bow ties because he always wore bow ties to like Christmas, Noche Buena, different family birthday parties and stuff. So for his funeral, my aunt wanted everyone to wear bow ties. So I made some for my cousins and I to wear. And then I was just like giving them away to friends and family. And someone leaned over and said, you can sell these. And I was like, oh my God.
What?
Like, what?
Life changing.
What? Yeah, that's funny.
Never occurred to me.
Until that moment.
Until that moment. And I was like,
How shortly thereafter did you start selling them?
like maybe 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Hey.
Because I was just making them and giving them to friends and family, like as requests, and like,
Right.
oh, I like this pattern. Can you make me a bow tie?
Yeah.
Sure. So, and I was like, oh, if I'm gonna like sell them for real,
Yeah.
I need more than 4 because,
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna make a lot of money that way. So then I was like in production mode and sewed and made all these bow ties with like so many clothes. Just everyone gave me all their old clothes. So
Yeah.
it started with old clothes. The name is kind of dual meaning, but so like Janet just made this one. We're still getting to Janet. But she made this bow tie. This pinstripe pattern used to be a pair of pants, and this is just like a weird cut shape of scrap.
That's so cool.
So mostly it started with what are they called? Clothes that we all wear every day.
Hey. So like you
Sewn
literally
apart.
like sewing it apart.
Yeah. So the process of like, the deconstruction or like
Right.
coming apart and then coming back together, being sewn back together.
That's
So
really cool.
So that's where the name comes from. So Janet is a woman who sews for me. I passed off the labor earlier this year. I was
Okay.
in a competition last year and I won 2nd place, but there was
Why are we talking about this? So sad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get to keep the money that I won.
And it was a pretty big chunk of dinero.
It would have been really helpful. So the compromise was to donate my money to an organization where I would then get free labor, but
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
but the women who are making the bow ties,
Yeah.
Janet being one of them, is getting paid with the pool of money
Okay, that's cool.
that I donated.
That's pretty cool.
That's
I
badass,
didn't
yeah.
get the money, but I'm
Right.
still benefiting
Yeah.
That's true.
from.
Okay,
cool.
that's really cool.
But it was still very.
Yeah, like at first you're like,
It was still very painful.
It was
it's
still
like,
very
here's a shiny
painful.
toy, but someone
I'm gonna
else
take
has
it
to
But you
play
can
with it.
admire it from overseas.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though. Like, you
Yeah.
helped like another life.
That's good. You passed it
So-
along.
Yeah. So Janet, who
That's cool.
has been sewing for 2 decades, longer than
Wow.
I've been alive.
Wow.
So I feel like there's nothing I can teach her.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though.
She's like a master seamstress.
So how does that relationship work? Like you ask her to do like certain types of projects or
Oh yeah. So I work with her every Tuesday in the studio.
you have a studio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our studio's in St. Pete.
Oh,
So
That's
I brought her.
she just has a casual.
Yes, actually, it was
That's badass.
I know, that's so cool.
So I bring her fabric that I like. I brought her this rainbow pattern because
Like, how do you-
Yeah, for
produce them from my bag of tricks.
For the audio listeners, we're just getting a bunch of bow ties on the table.
And so I actually really like the way she did this one. I don't.
What else you got? What else? Lift them all
Slap
out.
them all out.
Here we have one with fruit on it,
Oh, that's cool.
and I think that's a sunflower.
This makes you nervous. I'm moving it.
I
Oh
know.
yeah.
We have an
Moving a
early
candle.
Christmas one because you can never be prepared.
Dude.
Too prepared
Oh, yeah.
for the holidays.
True that.
This is so
Dang.
cute.
That's so crazy.
I think this one is my favorite one. I just love.
Oh, I like this one.
I love the contrast of the brightness. with,
Yeah.
like the neutrals of the black.
Oh,
That's cool.
So, she did make a solid rainbow one that's the rainbow pattern on both sides. And
Yeah.
she's so good. She matched it up with, so it looks just like this.
Oh,
Like, it's the
what?
same on both sides. I'm like, Janet, you're so much better than me. Because if I did this, I would have had
That's such like a subtle like.
this
thing,
is
but
what
it's
this
a
is
big
what mine
thing.
would have looked like. I would have like had pink at the top.
Yeah.
Like it would not have
Bro.
Been
been
perfect.
a mirror match, like flipping it
Yeah.
around.
Dang, man.
So I'm like, Janet, you're so good. And it's
Janet's
the
amazing.
same all the way down. I'm like, how did you do
Dude.
this?
That's crazy. And Janet, you're awesome.
She's
Yeah,
so
Shout out to
awesome.
Janet.
This one- I really like this one.
That's
I know,
fun.
I love that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then the watermelon one for summer in Florida,
Right.
because you know,
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta get that hydration.
right?
So cool.
Oh, this one can be part of my food series. Did I talk
It
to you
really
about the
could be.
food series when
Yes.
we met
Yeah.
last week?
Let's talk about the food series. So you had an icon series first.
I had an icon series. Oh yes, this one would have been great in the Frida collection too,
Ooh, true.
right?
Yeah.
It's okay. We can do part 2.
Yeah, you really can. So now the food series.
Yeah. So the food series is.
This one's cool.
I think I'm still hashing out the details. This is kind of a long story.
Go for it.
So the food series started with my interest in the environment and then specifically the agricultural system, or
Yes.
which I worked in restaurants forever, and that's kind of what started my interest in food and then food sustainability. And I was doing, I think I told you this, I was doing a bunch of research, and then one article that I read after reading, I don't even know how many articles, also mentioned cotton agriculture
Yes.
in their overview of the agricultural system. So like in the whole umbrella of the agricultural system, this one article also mentioned or touched on cotton agriculture. And again, I was like,
Didn't even think about cotton. Like I would never put food and cotton together. Like
but it comes from the same.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I mean that makes sense.
But I had the same thing. I was like mind blown. I was like, oh my god, Like when someone told me you can sell
That's pretty
these.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, it was like,
About
Same,
everywhere.
like, wow.
it was also floored. So
That's pretty crazy.
I'd like to talk about, again, I'm still hashing out the details. So I really like the agricultural system because there's two things we do every day.
Mhm.
We eat food and we put on clothes.
Mhm.
And both of these things come from the same system,
That's true.
which I feel like obviously when you think about it, you can come to that conclusion. But I don't think a lot of people think
No.
about it, myself included, until I did. But so it's like, you know, these seemingly different dots
Mhm.
that are actually really easy to connect.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do the food series and also, I guess, bring it back to agriculture and how this, in my opinion, I think there's a strong argument for it, is the foundation of our lives.
Yeah.
Because none of us are naked. None of us
Yeah.
are,
Except for the nudist.
except for the nudist.
Well, they're on another
No, even they have to sit on
wavelength.
cloths at the restaurants, I've heard.
That's true.
Yeah. In the shared space.
And they still sleep on sheets
That's true.
You're right.
That's
and
it.
dry themselves
Yeah.
with towels.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Literally everything. So
Or maybe
you're
they
either-
don't dry themselves and they just air dry.
Because why not? That's
Dang.
funny. But that's,
Well,
so true.
that's
Like
very
you're either
cute,
eating
like-
or you're putting on clothes, and they both cotton. Like
And it's universal, right? Like in every country,
Yeah.
in every language, in every region of the earth,
yeah,
this is something that every human is doing in some
Yeah.
way.
like
And on top of
capacity.
that, it's like very intertwined with the culture too. Like you have like fashion. You also have like people that have like super awesome like food cuisines that they do too.
Right, traditions.
So, yeah,
So,
traditions. Like and it's very like it doesn't matter where you're from. Like
It's universal.
you can connect with
it's
that.
universal.
Yeah. Dang.
that's
So-
crazy.
So I like to have that conversation
Mhm.
in a in a storytelling visual series of bow ties, and I maybe in a cotton field or in
Yeah,
like at a
yeah.
Where
farm
is there a
I
country?
think somewhere.
we might have to go to Georgia. I'm not
that's
sure.
what I was thinking.
All
We
right.
just have to find out what time they bloom.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even know when the
Because
season
they're
is.
like either like
So we
really
got a
puffy-
little more research to do. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be freaking awesome in the cotton field.
This is just thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
We're just planting seeds right now and see where they
Literal
go.
seeds.
That's gonna be awesome. So what are you gonna have? Like what foods are you thinking about? In your food
The
series?
watermelon.
Watermelon. That makes sense.
Um,
You should do a lemon one. In the
Oh,
shape
yeah.
of lemons.
you should do a coconut one.
it's already done.
Oh,
So it
that's
shall
gonna
be.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is
Dang.
gonna be cool.
Yeah, and then I think I should continue with the Icon series, Icons 2.0.
I think
Nice.
so.
Yeah, so let the people know what.
Let the people
let the
know.
people know what the Icon series was.
Yeah,
So this is the most Frida-esque one.
I like that one.
This can be part of the Elton collection
Oh yeah.
and the Rainbow, obviously.
Of course.
So the Icon series is a collection of bow ties inspired by certain icons who, and mostly women, but for 2.0 we'll incorporate Elton and other amazing icons.
Yeah.
Style icons from the decades. So the Icon series is mostly women who wore menswear or were pioneers in their own right in their field. So I did Lucille Ball because she wore, if you ever go back and watch I Love Lucy, she wore a lot of neckties and bow ties throughout the series, and Ethel did too. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
women wearing men's accessories. And Lucy's awesome because she's kind of heralded as the first female comedian, and she was the first woman to own a studio, to run a studio.
Really?
Yeah. She's the first woman to run a studio in Hollywood.
Wow.
Desilu Productions, and then which did I Love Lucy. And she was really, so this is back in the 50s. So they didn't want an interracial couple on TV. It was still a little taboo at the time with her being a white woman and then Desi Arnaz being Cuban. And she said, well, if you don't take my husband, then there is no show. So she really put her foot down and made I Love Lucy happen and said, he's my real life husband. America will accept a show.
Right.
Like, if they already like me, they'll
accept it on a TV show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she was like, it's both of us or it's none of us.
Wow.
So she was such a badass and so fierce. And
that's really
like,
cool.
really, she was a beast. And I also love Lucy because she wasn't afraid to like, I mean, she was so beautiful, but she never was afraid to put dirt on her face or like get, you know, like for comedy. Like she did whatever. She wasn't afraid to slip and fall or like wear something crazy. Yeah. To be embarrassed. To be embarrassed. Yeah.
She just knew who she was and she's like, let's just go.
Yeah. Like anything for the laughs. So I just like love her gumption.
You were a comedian too, weren't you, for a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Once upon a time. Shit, I almost brought my old business cards for you too. I remember this morning when I was brushing my teeth and then I forgot when I finished. That was it. It came and it went.
That's so funny. I feel like you've lived like many lives.
I think we all have.
You're right. You're right. It's so crazy to meet people at like whatever stage you meet them at, and then you're like, yeah, but I also did this,
I was just thinking about this.
Right? That's kind of crazy.
The people who know you now, when you're
who didn't know you like for like
when
the
you
past
sold
5
coconuts.
Years. Yeah, and we still were like crying as biology majors. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then Frida is also in the Icon series because she was not so much in her later years, I guess, but in her like early 20s, teenage years, she used to dress in menswear a lot because I
feel like we need to do more research on people.
I know we do.
Yeah, it's like, really interesting.
It is really
to learn about other people.
Yeah,
I really do enjoy reading like memoirs.
Yeah,
biographies are my favorite.
Biographies. Dang. So she used to dress up.
Yeah. So I guess her father thought she would be born a male. And then she wasn't. So she and she was really close with her father. So she used to like humor him, I guess, and wear 3-piece suits and neckties and stuff.
That's cool.
And obviously she had her own style that she came to be known for. And one of my favorite story about Frida is when she got her first solo show in Mexico, because she was bedridden at this time, and she was like, well, I'm not missing my show. So she had people carry her into the museum on her bed.
Damn.
Like a pharaoh or something.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not missing my show.
What?
Which you gotta admire someone for that.
That's like a boss move. Like,
right?
I'm still coming, and you're gonna carry me in.
And you're gonna carry me in.
I'm showing up.
Dang. So the Icon series is highlighting a bunch of bosses in their own way.
And Grace Jones, who didn't ever wear bow ties or neckties, at least that I've seen in my research, but wore menswear, was super androgynous, and she was a performer. She was a musician and a singer before, or maybe, I don't know if she played any instruments. She was a singer before. She has like 8 albums that she recorded in the 80s before.
Really?
Before she was a model. And I was like, who knows? She is a lot.
Wow.
She is a lot. She is a really incredible version of Le'Veon Rose. You should totally listen to it.
Good. All right.
All right. We got some research.
Yeah, we gotta step up our culture. Like,
this is all I do. I should be working.
Any article, just send it our way. We're like, oh shit.
Anything you find interesting, you're like, yeah, you should read this.
FYI.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So I love Grace Jones because I'm like, she's like such a triple threat with like everything,
literally everything,
so many things. And I wanted to do the Icon series because I started wearing bow ties, and not a lot of women do still. It's still
so like
a male dominated accessory. And I hear from mostly at the markets from a lot of women who are like, oh, you look so cute, but I could never pull that off. And I fucking hate when sorry, I don't know if you're allowed to swear on here.
It's explicit on everything.
I hate when people say that because you can. If you want to wear a bow tie, you can wear a bow tie.
It's just a mental choice.
There's no rule. There's nothing that says you can't.
Right.
So I wanted to do the Icon series to like, look, people have been doing it forever. Women have been doing this throughout the decades in all different fields.
You don't need no one's permission.
In all different, you know, style. So you have like Frida, Lucille Ball, you know, like totally different
ends of the spectrum
with style, and then Grace Jones and Annie Hall, even from the even though she's a fictional character, she's a very sassy female.
That's true.
if you've ever seen the movie.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
So I wanted to do the Icon series to like
to show that
it ain't new.
That's cool. So who's gonna be in your 2.0?
Elton John, because he's a personal favorite.
Right.
I know. I'm taking recommendations. If you
in the comments below, let us know.
Yeah, let us know
who should be in the 2.0.
Bow ties, though. You have to think of style icons and people who I like to highlight. People who've like paved a way, or you know, like
all right. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to do some research.
A little bit of research.
Right. Think about this.
Get back to us.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, I think you also mentioned the power of just like dressing up sometimes.
Oh yes.
I think like when we talked that one time, like that stuck to me a lot.
That stuck to you? Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. I think we give clothes this very like superficial thing sometimes, or title. I don't even know what to call it. If you care about what you wear, you're shallow, and which I would probably agree with to an extent. However, unfortunately, I think in today's society still people notice what you're wearing, how you dress, how you present. So and then the other thing is, for me, I love wearing my bow ties on good days, on bad days, on whatever, because it is a little power accessory, and it's hard not to feel good in it.
In a bow tie. It's hard not to smile when you're wearing a bow tie.
It's true.
It's hard to smile when you're looking at someone wearing a bow tie.
Right?
Yeah.
I love, and people of all ages too. Like, I love seeing old men in bow ties, and then like little 2-year-olds.
That's the weddings.
It's so cute.
So cute. And I think there's a lot of, so when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you have the power to change.
That's true.
And so you're not dressing for the world. You dress for yourself and whatever you have to do that day. And whatever you want to do, if you need a little extra power for the day, a little extra confidence, for me, that's what the bow ties do for me. The same way as like wearing red lipstick, or like a fresh haircut, or a suit, or you know, like whatever it is that you put it on and you're like,
all right,
I got this. For me, I feel that way about the bow ties. It's like a power accessory, and then it helps you conquer the day. And I think it just gives you that extra push sometimes to do whatever you need to do. And the other thing is, oh, it just left my head. It'll come back to me.
It happens.
It does.
It happens all the time.
Literally all the time.
Every day.
Daily.
That's good.
By the hour.
Well, with that being said, we're going to do a quick little pause.
True.
And then we'll restart
we'll be right back
our brains.
after these commercial breaks.
Boom.
Three.
All three of us, ready? 1, 2, 3, boom.
That was great.
Power clap. Yeah, we like to have fun here on the Dos Cocos Locos podcast.
Listen, life's too short not
Right?
to.
Yeah, if you're not having
That
fun with
is
life,
true.
then you gotta switch something up.
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dang. So how did you guys meet? Cause
At the girls' party.
I was like, oh, damn, I totally forgot. Oh yeah, the Mew event.
Yeah.
The Girls Network Mew event.
Uh-huh.
That was fun.
That was
a lot
so
of
much fun.
That was a good time.
Dude, I feel like just from a guy's perspective, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but No, I feel like
Go ahead.
I feel like there's like a really strong like women community here in the Tampa area for sure. Because I think from that event you were able to meet Erica, DJ Donya,
Oh,
Good
actually.
yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people that
Yeah,
event.
Did you?
Yeah.
A Rosita.
Yeah.
Right?
Abby.
Like-
Oh no, we
or
already
Abby.
met Abby
Oh,
before
you
that.
already met? Okay. But like literally, like that's so cool. Like being able
Yeah.
to like just meet a lot of awesome people all at once.
That
Like,
was a fun party.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
I was nervous too. I'm like, I don't know anyone. Like, I only
That's so
knew
nervous. Yeah.
Lay,
Yeah.
DJ Donya. I only knew her, and I was like, oh. And I almost didn't go, but I went, and I'm really,
Really?
glad. Yeah. I don't know. I get weird and like self-conscious
I
and
get really weird, too.
antisocial.
Yeah, me too. And like I was taking photos for the event, so I was like, I'm just gonna sit here in the corner and not talk to anybody.
But you were wearing all denim. Oh, I want to do the denim.
Oh yes,
shoot,
I
too.
was wearing all denim.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a denim shirt on, denim pants,
and
and
a denim jacket.
my like long denim jacket.
Yeah.
I was like,
all I was missing was a bow tie.
I like your all denim look here.
Honestly, I don't even know how that happened. It was like all of the first things I picked up. So I was running
It was
late.
all
It was
denim.
so good. I love denim.
It was great.
Good.
We should do an all denim shoot. That would be
We
perfect.
need to,
Let's make it
It
happen.
looked very like Gap-esque.
right? Or
Yeah.
Calvin Klein from the 90s too.
Yes.
Calvin Klein was killing it in the 90s. They had some
They really
great
were.
ads.
I gotta check out their ads.
You
I
should
feel like
check
I feel like
that.
I need to check people's like old ads and be like, all right.
Man, there's
'Cause,
so
like,
much
there's some
inspiration in
timeless
They were
old
so much
ads.
better
Yeah.
too, I feel.
They really were.
They put a lot
Yeah.
more work into them.
Dang,
And they do
Yeah.
now.
that's wild.
And they just kind of look the same.
Yeah.
But-
So what are some of like advice for like people that
I digress.
you can, what was some of your personal advice to kind of like, because like we all have like those like things where we're self-conscious, especially when we're going to like events or something like that.
Yeah.
So what are some advice that you would like to give to people to like
That's a great
do
question.
something?
To like go.
Yeah, to
events,
just like ignore what your fears, I guess, and just be like, you know what?
just show up. Just
That's
get
it.
there. I feel like once you're at the door, you can't walk away. So
No.
like once you're at, just get to the door.
Yeah,
Say
for
hi.
sure.
Yeah.
And if you, I guess, go with your gut too. So I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, you should go.
Right.
Yeah.
First instinct.
Dang.
So I try to really like follow your gut. It's really hard sometimes. I think
Mm-hmm.
we go against our better judgment often.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
I was so nervous though because like we always go to events together.
Yeah, I remember you
So-
being
Oh,
nervous.
yeah.
I'm like, all right, peace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay
I
home and
was
play
like,
video
oh.
games.
I was like, I don't know, what do I talk? Because usually when we go to events, he's usually the first one to introduce
Yeah.
like himself. Because I'm so awkward at saying hi to people.
It's weird.
I get so awkward. But like, so he'll introduce like himself and then I'll come and be like, hey. But like, I'm so bad at like initiating that first hello. So
Yeah.
when I went to this by myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so awkward.
So you really need a bow tie because then people just come to you and they like
You're right.
Dang.
they do
Yeah.
all the work. So
Yeah.
me, I'm like such a wallflower, and I like was in the corner of the kitchen, and someone was like, "I love your bow tie. I love your look. So tell me about yourself." And I was like, "My name's Erica."
That is so true. I need
Hey.
bow ties in
All
my
I did
life.
was stand there.
Yeah, and the bow
That's
tie
so
just
funny.
it's like a magnet. It makes you get attracted to it
It's
naturally.
true.
That's-
Dang, man.
Yeah.
All right, I need more bow ties.
That's
I
my-
also need more
that's my
button ups
tip.
though.
I know. I hear that a lot too.
I don't have enough button ups. I think I have like maybe 3.
Yeah, I know. When I started, I think I only had 3.
You're like, that has changed. Is your whole like closet button ups now?
It's really close to it.
That's funny.
Bro,
I feel like it has to be at that point though.
But button ups are like they feel nice though,
They
right?
do.
You're like, all right, like when we're going to go like to
Yeah.
a meeting, like if we like
We're
really
a button
are
up.
ready for it, we do the little button up. And we're like,
Yeah.
all right.
It's a really easy way. This is one of my style tricks. It's a
Mm.
really easy way to look
Dressed up.
dressed up,
Yeah.
but like cool and casual.
Yeah.
a button-up shirt
Respect.
iron. Make sure though,
Yeah.
like
True.
Yeah. Gotta get
these
that.
be bad.
these buttons. Sometimes the fabric gets like
Oh, wonky.
yeah.
Yeah. Make sure we actually iron it.
Yeah.
Need to get an ironing board.
Or just steam it in the shower with you.
True. Yeah, I used to do that too in high school or in
Yeah.
college. I'm like, they say this works, and I actually did.
It
Both. High school and college.
Hey. All right, so I want to talk about this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is dope.
And for all of you who are listening, there's a giant tapestry on our wall.
It's
Erica has
21
made.
by 28 inches.
Bro.
Oh, it's good. You should probably know that information.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So this was inspired by a painting that your aunt did.
Yes, I never met this aunt. I have to ask my mom. I have to follow up with
Actually,
my.
really,
I have to follow up with my mom on the like connection. 'Cause
Oh.
she, like who?
Like-
She's
Yeah.
my great aunt, so like I don't know.
Okay.
Who's
That gets lost in the sauce somewhere.
yeah.
Sauce in the sauce? When,
Yeah.
when have you ever said that?
All the time.
I've never heard her say that before.
I've heard it.
I did. See?
Jesus.
It's a thing. So yeah. Anyway.
That is the
Alright,
phrase
so
that people
it's
say.
okay. I've heard it from other people before, just not from you.
You need to get with it.
I guess. Dang. So I think we'll see if we could get Chris to like pop up the painting here. If you just send
Oh,
us
yeah,
the picture of the painting, so then it pops up here in the video.
Oh, okay.
So then people can compare, just can like see like the
Oh
inspiration.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a
But-
better photo of it.
Okay, all right. But yeah,
I was lost for a second.
She's like, what's popping up? Where's
really
Chris?
makes sense.
Where's Chris?
Who's Chris?
All right, so our listeners, we do a really bad job explaining to our guests that we have
Who
Chris.
Chris is?
Or who-
Thank you for your service.
so Chris helps us edit these podcasts, and
Yeah.
he's really big part of our team. But we do a bad job communicating that, and people just feel like he's like hiding around a corner or something. But
Like, you
all
live
right,
here.
but yeah. So kind of talk about like the process of making that, because like you told us about it, and that's crazy.
Yeah. So this process, there's a painting that I have at my house that, well, it was at my parents' house forever. And then I asked my mom one day if she ever didn't want it, if I could have it. And then like 2 years later, she gave it to me. And Aunt Doris painted it. And I don't think I've ever met, no, I have never met Doris. I think she died before I was born. But some of the stories I've heard about Doris, she sounds like a really sassy lady. She traveled a
I already love
lot.
Doris.
Yeah, she traveled a lot on her own. I have some trinkets from her from India from her
Wow.
travels. Like I guess when she passed away and they were cleaning out her house, they sent just like care packages like of
Wow.
things to my mom, and
Yeah.
my mom was like, "What do you want?" All of these, thanks. And so I've always like I have so many of her treasures from traveling. I'm like, I don't know. So I was really drawn to this, and I was like, oh, Aunt Doris painted that. Mom, can I have this?
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good first tapestry because I think like most people love flowers, and it seemed like a good but easy, like a hard but easy, hard and easy at the same time challenge. So it's for this art show called Denim and everything.
Oh, it's going in our show.
It's going in an art show that's next Friday.
Oh.
You should come. It's in St. Pete.
Oh.
And
That's so exciting.
so the name of the show is called Denim. And there's some people who are submitting clothes, like denim jackets that they paint, like Cam's painting.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think he's in it though. But so and then I guess someone else made a tapestry. I don't know. I'm not sure what all the denim things are. So I made this tapestry out of denim. This is denim, this blue and white stripe. This is denim. This is chambray, which is like a denim shirt.
thin
It's
denim.
like a thinner denim that a lot of shirts are made out of.
Chambray.
There's so much
Chambray.
to learn.
And then the leaves are denim, and the tapestry, the rod hooks are denim.
Okay.
And then the flowers are just all fabric scraps. Random
cool.
size fabric scraps.
And I like that you're reusing all of your fabric, like your scraps.
I have so much of it. Yeah, because otherwise this would go in the trash or a landfill, which is really bad for the environment. You should never
Right.
throw fabric away. it's really bad for the environment.
Dang.
Good to know.
So why is it bad?
Because it doesn't break down. So, polyester clothes will never break down, but roughly 40%, the majority of our clothes are still made from cotton, roughly 40%. And then the other 60% is a combination of polyester, silk, rayon, lycra, spandex, whatever.
Okay.
Lycra?
Lycra?
Interesting. What is lycra? Is lycra spandex? Or
It's
are those two different
clothes.
things?
I think they're
Is
different.
it a stretchy material?
I
I've
think
never heard of lycra before.
sometimes it's in underwear and sometimes it's in workout clothes.
Okay.
Oh, it's like stretchy kind of.
Yeah, but not quite as stretchy as spandex. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know
Interesting.
anything about lycra.
gotta
That
look
may
it
be false information too. But I think Sarah Blankley from Spanx used lycra in. It was on the How I Built This podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
gotta check out that podcast. Several people have told us about it now.
it's really good. But anyway, she talked about lycra in her episode of How I Built
Okay.
This, so
Yeah.
it's at least in Spanx underwear.
Okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
Wealth of information over here. So anyway, back to landfills. Clothes are, so cotton's an organic material. We already covered this. It grows, which I forget about. I think people forget about.
Yeah.
So, but because anything that came from the earth essentially can go back to the earth. So even silk and wool, even though they're not grown like cotton, it's still a natural fiber because animals
Yeah.
made it. So all that can become and leather.
I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
like, where does silk come from?
That was
I'm like,
interesting.
the silkworms,
Silkworms.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
But I didn't really think about the fact that if it came from the earth, it can go back to the earth, dust to dust.
Yeah,
Same.
ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Yeah.
So if it came from the earth, it can go back to the earth.
Interesting.
So you can compost textiles, but
The same way you do food.
the same way you do food.
Wow.
And so like
How long does it take though?
it
'Cause,
takes
like,
longer than food.
okay, because like
Makes sense,
when
'cause
you
it's,
have a
like,
shirt, it lasts a
processed.
while.
Yeah.
Right?
And it depends on, so a lot of shirts are like a poly cotton blend, polyester
Okay.
cotton blend. So
it
it
makes it last longer.
it makes it last longer, but so it depends on the ratio.
Oh,
Okay.
If that shirt will actually break down depending on the polyester percentage. So if it's 50-50, probably not. But if it's like 90-10% polyester, 90% cotton, then it will break down.
okay.
But probably over like a year and a half instead of
interesting.
like a banana peel is gone in a month.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So
Wow.
Eggshells are gone in a week.
really,
Really?
I feel that that's so short.
And you're supposed to, so here's another good tip. Plants love calcium and your coffee grinds. So acid likes acid. Tomatoes like orange, the acidic plants like acid. So you can pour your coffee grinds on those plants. But acid also likes calcium. So you can mix it in with your eggshells.
Wow.
We're gonna start planning. Oh, we have a new plant.
Yeah, we gotta be plant. It's over here. You,
You
gotta
should
see a
put
little bit.
eggshells in it. You should crush your eggshells and
Wait,
put it
for
in
real?
the soil. For real.
Really?
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna see if it works.
Dang.
It adds health to the soil.
Dude.
That makes
oh my
sense. All right, I'm gonna do
God. Learning a lot.
it.
That's wild.
I told you we walked into Fancy Free and we're like, we've killed a lot of plants. What's a good plant that we won't kill?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, this one.
That's a very hardy plant.
I know. And she said it's like, it's indoor and like low light and you
Yeah.
only need to water it once a week. And I was like, that sounds perfect.
Every Sunday, put it on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta put it on my phone, actually.
That's wild. So the reason why it doesn't break down.
So why shouldn't it go in landfills? Yeah.
Because, so like a compost, the things need air to break down. So in a landfill, these food scraps, these t-shirts aren't getting air. The landfill's covered with
So just like
Tons of
plastic
crap.
and
Yeah.
old tires and who knows what else people
Yeah.
put in landfills. So it's, getting buried between all of those layers and then it's not able to like
breathe and naturally.
the air can't get down to it. So it releases methane, seeps through the layers of the landfill and releases into the atmosphere because it's not so it's because it's a natural, it's a organic element, like food, it creates a gas that this methane gas.
Yeah. Dang, and that's like for like greenhouse, warms up the earth, really bad. Okay.
Yep.
All the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
Dang. So instead of putting it there, just use it. Give it another purpose to it, basically.
Just use it, right?
Yeah.
And you can do so much with your old clothes too. Like I have so many old shirts or socks that are dusting rags now that I just, you know, like I lost the socks, so I just have the one now. Especially the little ankle socks, they're perfect for me for like certain surfaces.
That's so true. I have so many one pair of socks. Like one sock.
I mean, I wear them mismatching, but I also use them in other ways. And what else? Like, so if something has a stain or a rip in it, it's really easy to mend, especially if it's on the seam, it's not bad. If there's a stain, you can put a patch over it and or like embroider. If you know someone who knows how to embroider, they can embroider over it and cover the stain, so then you can still wear the shirt and it has a new life for having this other element on it.
Dang.
That's true.
Okay.
If it's a white shirt that has a stain, you can tie-dye it and give it a new life.
Give it
Just get creative with it. Just have fun.
Just get creative.
Yeah.
Dang. That's cool.
That's cool.
Or if they're pants you don't like anymore, you can make them, cut off shorts or whatever. Like there's a lot of ways to breathe new life into the clothes we already have instead of buying new clothes all the time.
Yeah.
That's true. So you're going to start talking more about this, right?
Yes.
On like all of your platforms and your blog, because you have a blog.
Oh yeah, I have a blog. I'm coming back to it. I meant to blog on Monday, but I spent the whole day finishing this.
That's really cool.
Thank you. So this is all fabric scraps.
So cool.
That's crazy.
So what's your next tapestry going to look like? Have you thought about it yet?
Yeah.
I know that you just finished this one. So
I want to do a portrait of Elton John from one of the Greatest Hits album covers.
Oh my gosh.
I can pull it up for you.
That's going to be awesome. Do you already have like the scraps where you're like, okay, this is going to be Elton?
Yes. And I have the gold sequins that I'm going to sew down around, or hot glue, I don't know, for his glasses. Because obviously.
That's going to be awesome. Oh.
And then I want to do some landscapes from my trip to Norway last month. I went to Norway in June.
How was that?
Amazing. You should totally go. Everyone should go to Norway.
All right, looks like you're going to Norway.
I like how Erica's just like, you know what? I'm gonna make a painting but with clothes. Like what? Or like do this photo with clothes. That's so dope.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
My brain could not think that way.
No?
No. Like I would just need some paint.
I just need some paint.
That's really cool.
And then this one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh yeah.
With the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, the sequins are gonna look great.
The sequins are going to be spot on.
That's gonna be awesome.
And then so what I really want to do also is I want to make more environmental pieces with my art, but some of it's not happy or like.
Okay. Well, in what way?
So I want to, speaking of denim, I want to do a piece a social commentary. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
Social commentary.
That is kind of like a social commentary on some of the denim factories overseas in Bangladesh and just the process that they go through. So jeans that already come distressed that have the
rips.
Before
Yeah.
the process of getting those rips and like pre-distressing the jeans before the consumer even buys them is really damaging to the environment. So I'd the way that I understood it, it's not similar to fracking, but the process of like intense pressure stream of water mixed with chemicals to to blast through.
Yeah.
Is it's like a sandblasting, so kind of like an intense pressure blast.
Wow.
Of sand and water on the jeans to give it that distressed look. But similar to like the intense pressure that fracking has, and like the runoff and the damage and all like the cracks that does. So
the machines that they have to run with too.
Right, and so from the sandblasting, the pressure and the like kickback damages the rivers and the waterways and the land around. So it's not really you can't plant anything on that land because it's been contaminated with the toxins from the pants and the sandblasting and the indigo dyes. And are they natural dyes? Or for all clothes, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So I want to do not a denim factory, but something with a pair of jeans and then the river and fish floating on top, like dead fish floating on top of the river. So the social commentary of like, and this is what it's doing.
You definitely need to talk about. I would never even thought about the way that you break down a whole story. Yeah, you need to talk about all of this. Like, wait, so you're saying that like distressed denim jeans?
Don't buy them.
Don't buy distressed denim jeans.
No, distress your own jeans. Fall down.
Yeah.
Like
run around
on some concrete.
Yeah. Get grass
don't
stains.
buy them because
it's really bad for the environment.
Wow.
The process of getting that look.
Damn.
So these.
So you're using basically like bow ties
as just an entry
as
point.
an entry point, but also to kind of spread awareness to issues that are going on in the world.
Yeah.
Basically. Damn.
Oh, we're gonna do this.
I'm a bow tie activist.
That should be the next business card.
Yeah. Oh my god, it is.
Bow tie activist.
I'll call my girl.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you need to tell the world about all this information. And every time you read an article like this, you need to pass it along because we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like
apparently.
I guess like literally, we're like in our own little hole.
I mean, I'm in my hole. I don't know other things that are happening.
But that's important information.
There was a presidential candidate debate last night.
Yeah, there was.
I
saw the highlights this morning because we were at dinner. But
I don't
that
know
was
nothing.
Oh, jeez.
Reading about landfills.
Things are important.
Man.
Wow. Yeah, you need to share that with the world.
So I want to do art tapestries like that too, that are social commentary about the effects of clothing on the
environment. That'd be cool. We're looking forward to that. That's gonna be dope.
Thanks.
I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm so excited to see like where this whole tapestry project goes.
Thanks. Me too.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and that looks so cute right there.
I know.
It does. It looks really good hanging. I've only been looking at it on the floor.
That one looks really good.
Dang.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
All right, Erica. So before we get to the last question, is there anything else you would like to let the viewers, the listeners know?
Yeah. Don't buy distressed jeans.
Don't buy distressed
jeans.
Don't do it. Buy bow ties. You'll feel better about yourself and other things.
Wear cotton.
100% or nothing less.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. Join the nudist. Air dry.
So funny.
No.
That was it.
I don't know. I think those are all my pearls.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I can't let all my secrets out.
You're right. You gotta keep them all.
I gotta save them.
Like, you wanna say the last question?
So the last question, something I ask all of our guests. I just like to keep it real on this podcast. Mm-hmm. So what is something you're currently struggling with?
Oh.
And what's something that someone can help you with today?
Ooh. Mm-hmm. That's a great question. Something I am struggling with. In terms of what?
Just like anything, life. Because life is freaking crazy and it's hard.
That is so true.
I mean, just like telling people, because sometimes once you like share your struggles, someone else might be going through the same thing.
Yeah.
But there could be someone that could help you out. So like, you gotta let the universe know.
It's true. Sometimes I still struggle if bow ties are a good idea or not. Like, I don't know if people get it. And then I struggle with being too critical of my own work. And sometimes that is a hurdle to like produce anything.
That's true. I feel that sometimes, for real.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how anyone can help me with that. I just need to get out of my own head. But I guess maybe some of that goes back to confidence.
That's true. I think sometimes I get really critical about like a set of photos that I send to someone, and I'm like, these all suck, or these don't match, like the coloring doesn't match exactly what I gave them before, so like I'm trying to tweak it in a way, and it just like it's perfect as I want it to look, and I have to show it to other people. Like I'd show it to Robert or Chris.
Yeah.
And you're like, is this good? Like, does this look like me? Like, does this look like something that I did? Like, does it look like mine?
I feel that way all the time with this, and I love this, and I'm really proud of it. But I look at it and I see like all the imperfections too.
No, that looks freaking great.
It's like the first time that I've made a tapestry like this, so it's also, like the learning curve.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Putting fabric into a painting, like what? Like it's what? Like that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So that's good feedback.
Yeah.
I'm not seriously. We're not just saying that. It's just like, I feel like just don't be afraid to branch out into new things.
Yeah.
Bow ties are still. I feel like that's still like your core
classic.
though.
Yeah.
Like that's your core though.
It's how
So,
we came into the whole thing, so I feel like I can't get rid of them.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should get rid of them.
No, I won't. My grandfather would be upset.
Yeah,
Yes.
he'd be like,
I think it's just about education, and like I think that's what you're doing, and you're just
Trying.
educating people on.
Yeah.
It's I mean, we sold coconuts, like that took some education too,
It's
and
true.
even like photography, videography, like we're still so new at it. We've only been doing this for a year and a half, like
Me too.
total.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I started in
So, like,
January last year.
yeah,
but we started our business a year ago, so like we've only been shooting for half a year. Like we got a camera half a year before we started a whole ass business.
yeah.
That
So,
didn't make any sense.
yeah,
But
just-
like that took a lot of education too for
Yeah.
like our client, not only for us but for our clients on
Sure.
like why you should pick us and why this is even valuable to you in the first place.
Yeah.
Because people don't get it.
Yeah, I think I need help with the value proposition of.
I think it's just sharing your story.
Yeah.
Share your story, and then you'll have so much information. And
Yeah.
literally, the way you see the world is so different than a lot of people.
Oh.
But like when you explain, you're like, oh snap! I like
Because you
didn't think
simplify
about
it so
that.
well.
Oh, good.
Like
Yeah.
don't buy distressed jeans because they suck. But then you're like, this is why. A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, you're so right. Like I would have never thought about it that
And then
way.
it's so much cooler when you're like, yeah, I fell off my bicycle and ripped a hole in
Exactly.
Yeah,
Story.
you have a story.
You have a story attached to that
whatever
jean.
happened.
Yeah.
right.
That makes sense. Oh, this is gonna be
Seriously.
good. We're gonna work on that
Yeah.
YouTube. We're
Oh
gonna make it
yeah,
happen.
YouTube.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
It's gonna happen.
We're gonna share
guys.
that story.
Stay
We're
tuned.
gonna get some more bow ties out in the world,
Yes.
and people are gonna learn.
Come to
Yeah.
the studio. Y'all are gonna be so educated.
So educated,
Educated.
educated.
So educated.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
And-
so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Me too.
This is awesome, and I can't wait to see. We definitely gotta go to that show.
Oh my gosh, please come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know like where. Or you said it's the St. Pete.
It's in St. Pete next
Yeah.
Friday night,
Next Friday night. Okay. What time?
6 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
What's the date?
August 9th.
I think.
Oh, that's the day before my birthday.
Oh, yes.
I think we're free that day.
I think this podcast will be dropping the week of
Okay.
the event on Tuesday. So. Or the week after. I'm not sure.
Doesn't
But
matter.
one of those
Either
days.
it was great.
Either it was great or you
it's
should
gonna
go.
be awesome.
Sorry you missed it.
But it was
Hey.
awesome. Or it's great, we're going.
All right, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in to another
Yes.
episode of Those Cocos Locos podcast. Make sure to review, subscribe, like, share with a
Tell
friend,
all your friends.
tell all
Leave a
your
comment.
friends, share with your mama. Before we end this podcast, I just want to give a huge shout out to EV47. He's the one that made the beat for the beginning and end of this podcast. So you should definitely check him out because he's dope. And yeah, peace.
Yes.